Okay, I think I'm on. Uh, Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Bridges and Tunnels Committee. Uh, do we have any speakers?
Good morning. We have 3 members of the public registered to speak today. As a reminder, we ask that all public speakers adhere to the MTA's rules of conduct and decorum. I would also like to remind our public speakers that in the interest of time and fairness to all speakers, we limit everyone to 2 minutes. Please be aware of the clock in the front of the room and the warning light you will see reminding you that you have 30 seconds left to conclude your remarks. The first speaker will be Jack Nierenberg, following will be Charlton D'Souza, followed by Alita Dupree.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jack Nierenberg. I'm the Vice President of Passengers United. And last month I spoke about congestion pricing. Well, here I am again, unfortunately, because I was looking at the names and the backgrounds of the people on the Traffic Mobility Review Board. And based on my assessment, I am not confident that these people are going to be actually making these decisions with the interests of everyday New Yorkers in mind. And I would be delighted to be proven wrong. And secondly, why is it that with this essential board that's going to be determining the future of New York that we can't have a public comment session? So that I wanted to express as well. So I've already determined that congestion pricing is inequitable and unsustainable, especially for commuters in the outer boroughs. The Queens, Bronx, Brooklyn, Staten Island, Long Island, New Jersey, and Westchester, all of these areas that don't have adequate public transportation access. And one thing I do want to say about these communities, many of the people who live in these communities are night shift workers. These are people who work during the night and don't have adequate public transit access, especially considering that people don't feel safe taking the subways. The buses are sparse. Long Island Railroad's getting rid of the Atlantic ticket, which is another problem for them. So why put this extra burden on these people? And you know what's going to happen? They're not going to come into the city, and that's going to affect all of the night businesses. Restaurant workers are especially going to suffer. And restaurants in the city that I could probably say, generally speaking, everyone here uses, everyone enjoys, is going to suffer as well. So please, pay attention, keep the people in mind, and this is going to really cause them to suffer. So I just want to make that point. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Charlton D'Souza, followed by Alita Dupree.
Good morning, Charlton D'Souza, President of Passengers United. And yet again, guys, why is it that the public is not being allowed to speak at these traffic mobility review boards with this committee you've got set up? And I looked at some of these members on this committee, and I know none of them drive, okay? They probably get chauffeured in an SUV, and I know none of them take the subway. So this is, again, the elected officials of New York State screwing over the constituents. This is what they do best. And it's all a money grab, because you know what's going to happen. People are not going to get on the subway or the commuter rail because it's always breaking down. And this is with the brand new signals, and so this is what happens. But I do want to say, you guys are getting rid of the weekly pass that Southeast Queens commuters have had. I spoke to State Senator Leroy Comrie. I spoke to him on Friday about congestion pricing. He informed me that he basically, that the legislatures and the business community wanted this program. Those were the words he said to me. And I am appalled and outraged because our elected officials don't have any fight in them. And now, because of this, we're all going to suffer. And there's going to be pollution outside the borders in the Bronx, pollution in Long Island City, pollution in parts of Brooklyn. So it's going to destroy the air quality of New York. It's just moving it from one area of Midtown to another area. So you guys are not solving anything in terms of the environment. The only thing this is meant to do is raise money for the MTA, which is the 7th largest debtor in the United States. 7th largest debtor. So why are we throwing more money at an agency that can't even handle its money? The first thing the MTA needs to do is bring in competent people to run this agency and to clean up the corruption.
Thank you. The next and final speaker is Alita Dupree.
Thank you. Good morning to the chair, Alita Dupree, for the record, she and her. As I talk, I am simply an ordinary user of public transportation, probably one of a very few that comes to meetings of any kind. And I deal with congestion all the time, whether I'm in Northern California, Los Angeles, Chicago, or New York. And I ride bicycles and scooters, and I walk, and I ride buses. And I did use a car share in the Bay Area recently. I borrowed a car by the minute. And I used that car at a time when congestion was not very congested. But I have driven a car in New York City, sometimes at the height of congestion. It's not easy. And so whenever you have more vehicles of any kind, you have a greater risk of accidents. And nobody wants to get into an accident. I fell off a bike once years ago. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't too bad, but wouldn't want to go through it again. So how do we build a city that is going to be easier to navigate for all modes concerned? I do use the subway in New York, just as I use BART in Northern California. And I'm very appreciative of toll bridges. I go over the Bay Bridge quite a bit, and I hope to go over the bridges in New York, probably on an express bus. So I simply share my ordinary perspectives. Bring congestion pricing into service as soon as possible. Thank you.
Mr.
Thank
Chair,
you.
that concludes the public comment.
I second.
Second. All in favor? Aye. President Sheraton, are there any changes in the work plan?
Good morning, Chair Mack. There are no changes to the work plan. I'd like to note, due to this month's accelerated meeting schedule, agency financial reports usually distributed with the committee materials are not included, and they will be posted on the MTA website before the end of the month. I'd like to open by acknowledging our friend and colleague, Kumel Arroyo, MTA Chief Accessibility Officer, and thank him for joining us at our committee meeting. Q's work in advancing the MTA's accessibility improvements is truly dynamic and impressive. Together with our construction and development partners, B&T is moving forward with ADA-compliant projects on pedestrian walkways at our bridges, such as work currently underway at the Cross Bay and RFK bridges. B&T is also pleased to join the MTA and our sister agencies in celebrating Pride Month in June and now Disability Pride Month in July. We look forward to continuing this positive partnership with Q and his team to ensure MTA facilities are accessible for all. Q, would you like to say a few words?
Sure. Good morning. First of all, thanks so much for having me. It's truly a pleasure to be here with you all celebrating Disability Pride Month. I'd like to extend my extreme gratitude to you, Kathy, and your entire team for enhancing accessibility throughout our bridges and tunnels facilities. From, as you mentioned, the pedestrian walkways, the bike lanes that you guys are adding. I am a New Yorker with a disability, and I am also a cyclist. So thank you for that. And of course, adding so many accessible ramps on and off our bridges. I also like to thank your entire team for all their work on congestion pricing hearings. We received over 70,000 public comments, and a lot of them came from persons with disabilities, people with accessibility concerns, and your team did an incredible job making sure that all of those comments were made, those hearings were made accessible, that all those communications were made accessible for people who are low vision and blind and hard of hearing community members to be able to say their piece. So thank you so much for all the many ways that you enhance accessibility throughout the MTA and remind us that accessibility is a lot more than just an elevator and a subway station. So thank you to your entire team.
Thank you, Q. Changing directions, at all committee meetings today, you will hear updates from each agency regarding the recommendations of the Blue Ribbon Panel on MTA fare and toll evasion. Demonstrating our commitment to one of our primary goals, revenue protection and recovery, B&T continues to make strides and build upon our toll violation enforcement measures. Many drivers attempt to evade tolls at B&T crossings by obscuring, altering, or covering their license plates, displaying fraudulent plates, and failing to pay toll bills. In 2022, an estimated $46 million was attributed to toll evasion. To optimize toll recovery for these blatant violators, our bridge and tunnel officers issue violations and summonses for covered, obstructed, and altered license plates with offenders primarily from New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, and Florida. Since converting to open road tolling, B&T has worked with the New York State Department of Motor Vehicles through our program to submit license plates of persistent toll violators for registration suspension due to unpaid tolls and fees. Once suspended, bridge and tunnel officers interdict these violators, recovering tens of millions of dollars in revenue. Recently, we've added portable license plate readers to our toolbox. These portable devices expand the monitoring of vehicles crossing our facilities, advancing our capabilities in recovering toll revenue. Using advanced technology, we can better identify travel patterns and deploy personnel more strategically. Thanks to the efforts of the entire B&T interdepartmental team, in 2022, B&T interdicted almost 1,800 vehicles and issued just under 3,800 summonses for covered or obstructed license plates. B&T has recovered over $77 million, or 93.6% of all tolls owed by toll evaders since we converted to open road tolling. Through ongoing coordination with our regional law enforcement partners, such as the New York State Police, NYPD, MTA PD, and the New York City Sheriff, we have increased the momentum. We are equally committed to supporting legislative measures that address toll evasion, including proposals by Governor Hochul that would boost B&T's ability to have DMV suspend vehicle registrations for unpaid tolls, confiscate license plate covering devices, and increase penalties for intentionally obscuring plates on B&T crossings and in Manhattan's Central Business District. B&T also continues to seek cooperation from other states in pursuit of reciprocity agreements for toll violations. And we have been working with regional district attorneys in support of investigation and prosecution of complex toll evasion cases. In addition to enforcement, there is customer education. Notably, our Tolls New York free mobile application, currently with more than 3 million downloads, it has turned out to be a regional success, improving the customer experience by making it easier to pay tolls, manage E-ZPass accounts, and avoid violations. Today, the committee presentation will focus on education and this award-winning mobile app. I'll now turn it over to Nicola Angel, Vice President of Intelligent Transportation Systems and Tolling.
Thank you, Kathy. In our ongoing efforts to improve the customer experience, we identified customer service needs that led to the development of the Tolls New York mobile app to help customers manage the payment of their tolls for both E-ZPass and tolls by mail. Customers enjoy the convenience of having their information easily available for checking account balances, knowing when a toll is charged or billed, or whether payment has been successfully made, among other practical tasks. Why is the app important to customers? Tolls NY app was designed to be a minimal viable product to help customers see the status of their toll payments. This is an industry term that means it was designed to be functional, straightforward, and basic in facilitating main customer tasks of toll payment and E-ZPass account management. Customer benefits include free download through the Apple App Store or Google Play, view E-ZPass toll charges, check account balances, and conveniently replenish it, update vehicle information, request a new tag, find and pay tolls by mail invoices, and set up a temporary account for rental vehicles. We'd like to show you a brief video highlighting what Tolls NY can do for customers.
Easily pay your tolls and manage your EasyPass account. Introducing Tolls NY, the official New York tolls app. With Tolls NY, you can find and pay tolls by mail invoices. And for New York issued EasyPasses, Tolls NY makes it easy to check your account balance, add funds, change payment methods to autopay, pay per trip, or manual reload, get important account alerts, view your toll history, and more. Tolls NY makes paying your tolls and managing your EasyPass account easy. Get it for free at the Apple App Store and Google Play.
Additional and more detailed instructional videos can be found on Tolls NY YouTube channel to guide customers on various how-to features. Through these videos, customers can gain even greater knowledge of the app functions and learn more about new features like the chatbot and mobile check deposits. This self-service app has been downloaded by New York EasyPass customers more than 3 million times since its release. Customers are installing the app at a rate of 22,000 downloads a week, a volume equivalent to the number of people that would fill Madison Square Garden or Barclays Center for an NBA game. What is the significance of rising downloads? More downloads result in monthly payment increases. In second quarter of 2023, over $36 million has been received through the app for bridges and tunnels. Tolls NY app demonstrates B&T's commitment to regularly improve customer service. By providing an accessible and easy-to-use tool, customer satisfaction is improving. The Apple Store app average review is achieving a very high 4.7 rating. A high-quality app attracts customers, and in the last 30 days, there were 283,000 active app users. Tolls NY is not only popular with our customers, but has also been recognized in our own industry. The International Bridge, Tunnel, and Turnpike Association, also known as IBTTA, honored MTA Bridges and Tunnels with its Excellence Award in Customer Service and Marketing Outreach, and the President's Award for Excellence. These prestigious recognitions serve as a platform for recognizing groundbreaking projects like the Tolls NY app, which push the entire industry toward a more efficient and customer-centric future. We are never done making improvements, so please stay tuned for exciting future enhancements to Tolls NY down the road. Thank you, and please let us know if you have any questions.
Thank you. And special thanks to all of the Bridge and Tunnel team for their roles in recovering revenues and toll evaders. And finally, other...
Chair Mack, I think Commissioner Glucksman has a question.
Great work on getting those cars. What happens to the cars? Do you get to keep them? You sell them? What do you do with them?
So the vehicles are sent for safekeeping, and when the owner of the vehicle is able to properly register the vehicle, they can reclaim their vehicle.
Is there a parking fee for every day that the car is kept in the...
Yeah, the tow companies do charge a fee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's a secure lot.
Okay. Are there any other questions? Okay. Well, finally, there are no procurements this month. But again, if there's no further questions, I'd like to have a motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn? So moved. Very good. Second? All in favor? Aye. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.